Hi, this is Charlie Wills and Andy Voeltner here back for our September issue of our market update. The main theme that we're going to talk about today is market pricing. Where are we at? What's happening to our inventory and kind of what to expect as a buyer or a seller here in our market.
There's been a lot of talk about the value of homes increasing and appreciating quickly. What are the actual numbers around that?
Yeah, right now our year over year from 16 to 17 is looking at 6% or a little greater, 7.5% in some parts of our market. And that's pretty unusual. We usually see 3, maybe 4% at the most for appreciation. And so what we did this month is we looked back at 2015 and see, what happened from 2015 to 17, what's been that growth? And it's over 11% growth.
Wow.
So that's massive for our market. That's talking almost 6% a year, which is pretty phenomenal here for property owners. So it's definitely a seller's market when you see those kind of numbers.
So with that type of appreciation, 6% per year, do you see that continuing on in the future? And what are some things or some signs that that will continue versus stop?
Yeah, I think right now I don't think we can grow our inventory at the levels that will get us back to more of a balanced market. Right now, absorption, meaning if we have a house for sale today, how long does it take us to sell? It's taking less than a month, which is pretty amazing, right? Because that's 30 days typically to close a loan. So we're right at 30 days from the day you put it on to the day you close. And so if that gets more towards like 5 to 6 months of absorption or inventory level, then we're normalizing. And I think right now you can't build fast enough, right? Because once developers start to see that land's available and, oh, look at the market, it's really great, it takes them almost a year to get that land ready. So I've seen a lot, you and I are both a part of the Builders Association, and so we see a lot of developers putting up a lot of land all over the county. Wherever they can find it, they're trying to make developments happen as fast as possible. I think if we get to that point, I'm thinking maybe 2 years down the road, you start to see the inventory levels actually start to grow again, and then the balance start to come back in the market. Other factors, economy, job market, or rates. And right now, there was a lot of talk about rates rising quickly here in 2017, and they've actually held right between 4.25 and 4.5. So they really haven't moved all year, almost 10 months worth of it not moving. So I honestly think if you look at those 3 factors, those could be the reasons that the market takes a shift. But I'm assuming that based on what we see now, there's no way to grow that. And so I think 18 is going to be just as strong for sellers.
So with the low existing inventory, what are some ways that we can leverage new construction to maybe fill in that void?
I think the way you do it is builder move-up programs. So what we're talking to a lot of the builders about is offering some sort of incentive. So we call those turnkey operations, where the builder takes all the expense of putting the house up for sale and builds spec homes, and so that in the anticipation that people will need homes once they sell their current homes. So it's kind of an anticipatory market, and we're starting to see a lot more spec houses being built in the anticipation that they'll be sold. So I think that's going to handle some of that buffer, but again, that's a little bit riskier move when you've got a tight inventory market. It works.
Sure. And are there any differences between the different levels and values of homes?
Yeah, I think anything under $500,000 in your general market, that's in Dane County, is still a seller's market. It's that $500,000 to $1 million range. We're seeing that market starting to tighten, and it's turning actually into a buyer's market, where you're seeing anywhere between 2 and 4% off on your prices, versus in the market under $500,000, you're barely seeing 1%. Some of the markets you're either full price or up to 5% over. So
and when you say some of the markets, you kind of mean neighborhood by neighborhood almost.
Absolutely. So I'm saying the general market right now of Dane County, but if you go into each specific neighborhood, every specific neighborhood has its own theme. And so that's something, when you are thinking about selling, make sure you ask somebody who knows the neighborhood, because they can talk about market generalities and they may be way off. So you just want to make sure that you understand everything that's happening in your neighborhood specific.
So it is a great time to sell, and it's a great time to start thinking about what that next move might be to capitalize on the value we've added to our home so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a perfect storm that there's going to be started to be a lot of spec homes for sale. So if you're looking to have new construction, it's a perfect opportunity to jump into something and get your house sold, because we have beautiful weather still. I think the market's going to stay strong again, like through the end of last year. We had markets go all the way almost to New Year's. That's how strong it stayed. It took about 3 or 4 weeks off, and then boom, it went right back to being strong again. So I kind of feel like we're going to have that same market. So I don't think that normal mentality of like, oh, we're getting towards like Halloween, maybe near Thanksgiving, I'm going to take my house off the market. It's more of, I think you should just treat it as you're in April or May and you're going towards the summer, and just kind of keep your house on, because I think there's going to still be that inventory of buyers still looking in the market. We're still seeing a lot of activity.
And where should I be going online to look for different homes and things of that nature? Is there one site that's better than another? Or?
I don't know if there's one that's better than another, but you want accurate, really fast data. First Weber has an app, and they also have their website, firstweber.com. Every 15 minutes, properties are updated on those websites or that application. I love Zillow. I love their layout. It's fun to use, but their data is anywhere from 3 days to 3 months old, and you don't know what you're getting. We got a lot of requests from Zillow, and that house has already been sold, right? Oh, I want to see this today. Sorry, man, it's sold. It's a hard message to have to give somebody, but if you're really looking for accurate data, that's probably your best app to get to for the best locations and also the best houses available.
Perfect. That's great.
Well, we're here at 9 Apostle Court. This is in High Point Estates. Fantastic home, and keeping in tradition what we've been doing. This house sold last week. Cash offer, closes here in 2 weeks. So we had, again, another successful round here with this home. This is in the $600,000 plus range, and again, we saw about 2 to 2.5% off, which is very normal because we're not in a seller's market like we are under $500,000. But the sellers they knew that. They listened to us give them updates every week and listen to the market, and they were very happy to kind of move with the buyer and make something happen.
Perfect. So you say you love that First Weber app. I know you've had some experience on using Zillow as well. You mentioned earlier a funny story you had about that. Do you want to share that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd never want to discount a competitor, and so as a professional, I like looking at their product and seeing, what do they offer, how efficient is their search, what kind of cool features do they have, and so I like it from that standpoint. But a really funny story: I signed up as a kind of a fake buyer for myself, kind of all the markets that we serve, and I got a market update report from them saying it's a buyer's market, and I had a nice chuckle because the neighborhood that they said, it hasn't been a buyer's market since 2009. So for me, I saw that email and I was like, okay. It's great that they offer really cool products, but they offer really terrible information. Yeah. And so, and that's being pumped not just to me; it's being pumped to other people. And so that was one of my favorites. That I do want to know what they're doing and do want to know why people like them, but also there's some caveats with those cool toys and shiny objects.
Gotta know how it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
Well, thank you for visiting us here today for our market update. We'll be back next month in October. We'll announce where we're going to be in our email and also online, so please stay tuned. Thank you again for joining us here today.